Just special day for the school with Joe Marsh being honored. What does it mean for you to give him a win too?
Oh, it's huge. For Joe specifically, it's his weekend, and he's deserving of the best. And he's a pretty special man. Done a lot for, not just the program with the institution, the North Country and here in Canton. He's an awesome person. But from our alumni standpoint and the support from everybody coming back, it's just a special weekend, and have success in it means a lot to everybody.
And you obviously have a connection because he coached your daughter for a year too. Like, what did she remember about him?
She loves Joe. She loves Joe. So he had stopped in each day just to kind of hang out and talk between different ceremonies and events that were going on. So he'd taken some pictures and sent it to my daughter, and she's favorite coach ever. He's just a special man.
Overall, what did you like what you guys were able to do in both games this weekend?
Well, I thought we weren't great start to finish in both nights. And I'll start with last night. We weren't very good in the first period. Then we cranked it up in the second, played a little bit more to our identity, and had a real good push. And tonight we weren't on our game, and that's not, to me, that's not a slight by any means. Union's good. Like, Josh has done a great job. He's a good friend. He's done a real good job of that program. Program in a short amount of time. They played hard. They were quicker than us in a lot of areas. We were fortunate to execute. We did, but he's got them rolling. They're going to give some teams a lot of fits, and it was a good battle for us. So for us to find a way to win with a B game is important tonight.
It was against you. What's it like to get a chance to coach against someone that used to be in the same office with for you?
Yeah, he's a good friend. He's a special person. So to play head to head is always fun, and it's good to compete against one another.
Overall, it was kind of different for you guys tonight compared to last night's game.
Well, I think too many penalties on the weekend as a whole. It really wore us down. I didn't think we got enough pucks to the net, trying to be too cute, and then gave up some chances off the rush.
How tough is it when you're playing a team that's having a special night too? Is that one of those games you kind of expect them to be real fired up anyway?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of energy in the building, and they're ready to go, and we had to match it. I thought we actually outplayed them in the first, and then second and third, I thought we were undisciplined, and Kill did a nice job in the first period, but you kill that many, eventually it's going to catch up with you.
And similar to last night, what was it like to kind of coach against Brent today?
Yeah, it was a cool experience. I mean, I think a lot of them, he's a great coach, that's a great staff over there, so would like to get the best of them, but we'll have another opportunity.
Does it say a lot, by the way, about the team that won the championship, that you both have become head coaches so quickly after that?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty fortunate for the players that we had during that time, and the experience. So I hope it says a lot, and grateful for that opportunity.
It was obviously scoring a goal anytime is going to be fun for you, but what was it like to be able to do it when you were honoring Joe Marsh today and stuff?
It's awesome. He's done so much for the program, and I was happy we got the team win. It felt good to get one myself, so really happy.
He's been gone for 10 years, but do you remember much of being a kid watching him coach games?
Yeah, I grew up watching here a lot, which was awesome, and it's special for me now. So he had some really good teams, and it's special for him to be back.
And he also said he talked to you guys yesterday too. Like, what did he kind of tell you guys in brief?
He kind of just acted himself. I think he left us with some good messages. A lot of simple things, kind of just play hard, be ourselves, be good citizens around the rink and the town. So I think that was a really good message from him.
How's it feel too, by the way, to start off conference play with 2 wins?
It's a really good start for us. 2 points last night, 2 points tonight. So I think that's a really good start for us on the ECAC play.
And you seem to be getting a lot of scoring spread out too. How important is that going to be later in the year if you guys have a lot of people that can
Really
score?
important, I think. We have a really deep team. We have scoring throughout the board, so I think contribution from everybody really helps the team out in the long run.
Overall, I was wondering, it was obviously a big day for the school. What's it mean for your team that you can play as well as you did tonight with all the alumni and stuff here?
It's huge to do it in front of all of our alumni to establish home ice like that. It's the second time this year that we've swept a team at home, so now we have to establish that as a standard and keep on building from that.
I was curious, was there anybody that played in the past that you got to meet that you never met before that you were kind of excited about?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of alumni, especially guys that played in 2000, 88, 89. I think those are some of the teams that were really dominant. Just to hear the stories of how close they became because of how well they played on the ice. And just to hear some of Coach Marsh's stories of how hard they played for each other and the men that they become after St. Lawrence, it was a really exciting weekend.
What did you like about him? Like, I don't know if you'd had much exposure to him before this event, but what kind of impressed you about him?
It seems like he really says what he thinks. It's kind of like it's very similar to our culture. I feel like he really established that for a long time, and it's well deserved that he's a legend of Appleton now.
And I was going to say about the goal you scored tonight too. That's an obvious question, but how key was it to get something as soon as you could?
Yeah, our power play wasn't clicking on all cylinders early. It looked a little disjumbled, so to get a goal like that for us was huge. And then the other guys accomplished what they had to later in the second and the third. So
And lastly, I was going to ask you, what's it feel like to be 2-0 after the first weekend of conference play and have all the points you can get?
It feels great. We know it's going to get harder from here, so
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be a challenge. But it's huge to go 2-0, especially on home ice.
Overall, what did it mean to get that win tonight? I mean, you want to win anytime, but to have a special night like this for the schools, it make it even more fun to play like you guys did.
Yeah, it was great. We came out a little flat, didn't play our best game today, but we found a way, and good teams find ways to win. And obviously, it's a big night. We knew who we were celebrating tonight, so yeah, it was really good to get that win.
And both games you guys fell behind and had to come back. Is that good too, that you can show that you don't get too deflated by giving up early goals?
Yeah, that's huge. We've been talking about that throughout practice. If we're down one, we got to stay level-headed. So kudos to the leadership group, keeping that in the locker room and coach. So yeah, it's been great, and it's good that we bought back and came back both games.
And your goal, what kind of happened on that play?
It was 4-on-2 or 4-on-3 rush, and I was back checking, and then puck kind of popped out, and I was calling for it. Felix chipped it, and then it's a 2-on-1, and he's a big goalie. I read his pre-scout, so I knew local was going to be there, and I stripped it.